Hold on. Also, I have this model because I was recording with it last night, so I was like, eh, whatever. Oh my god. Hold on. Do my tracking. I became like larger than life. Good morning. I watched that. I watched that game. That was kind of a BS game. I don't know what was happening half the time. It was like, what the fuck? Uh, man. I got the email about the new fucking stupid YouTube partner program today where they're basically doubling the uh amount that you need to reach partner. So instead of 4,000 watch hours on long form in a year and 5 million, I think, shorts views in 90 days, not in a year, in 90 days, it's now doubled. So it's 8,000 live watch hours in a year, and then it's 10 million shorts views in a year. And that's kind of insane. Or hold on, let me reread this. Yeah, no, it's 10 million. Says to earn ads and premium revenue for shorts each month, you would now need to maintain 10 million qualified shorts views over the last 90 days. For new creators, entry requirements to unlock ads and premium sharing are now increasing to 8,000 watch hours in the last 365 days. Oh, now, never mind. Hold on. So the shorts payout model adapted. So no, it's now 20 million. My bad. It's a little bit further down. They said 10 million and then they say 20 million. Either way, it's bullshit. And they're they're coming across this like, oh, this is so great. This is so awesome. And it's like, no, this is not great. This is not awesome. It is already kind of hard to meet that stuff. Like, I should know I have 4 other fucking channels that I don't earn ad revenue on. Which I haven't posted last week, so that's on me. That's not on YouTube. That's on me. Well, except for my ASMR. I've been keeping my ASMR up, but anyway. Um, but other than that, like, dude, it's hard. It took me, I want to say, like a year to get my main channel monetized. But what's also pissing me off is that people are sitting here talking about reaction content and they're like, don't do reaction content. Reaction content is just slop. Reaction content is just lazy. Reaction content is, bro, you know what I mean? Get out of here with your reaction content is slop. If you can't do reaction content because you don't have enough of a creative output to have a reaction or an opinion on content, that's not my fault. People are just being gross, man. But anyway, I think what's going to suffer the most is I have a clips channel. I haven't been posting, so I'm going to start posting on all of that sometime later this week for next week. And then I have my gaming channel, my creator channel, and those are going to be the fucking hardest thing to fucking get off. That's why I've been focusing on my ASMR, because I'm like, yo, let me just like the plan was, let me just get one other channel monetized first, right? And then work my way through the other so I can give every channel the time and consideration that it needs, make sure I can get it off the ground, and then get on the other, because I was like, I feel like I gave myself too much work. You know what I mean? So that's what I was gonna do, and then now they come up with this, and it's not gonna be into effect until January. But like I told you guys, like it took me almost a year to get my main channel with a partner. So, and it's going to take double the time now with their new bullshit that they're acting. So I'm just like, okay, that's not great. Cuz like right now my ASMR is at 640 subscribers out of 1,000, so still got a little ways to go on that. And then the qualified watch hours, I'm only at 359. Like I haven't even hit 1,000. which which means I'm gonna have to try for longer videos, which I should be doing anyway. Some of the ones more recently are really fucking short because the scripts I wrote were really fucking short. But I need to be doing like longer videos for the watch hours and possibly even like doubling up to get more watch hours. But like the problem is I can't do that with my creator channel or my gaming channel or my clips channel. My clips channel I can post 3 clips, but like let me see if I can put this. How can I just see the watch hours on my short form? I don't know. Oh, it does do it. Hold on, it's loading. Page is loading. All right. So mind you, let me add in something. Mind you, I did post a lot on my shorts channel before my main channel. I did like clips and stuff. And then I stopped this past month. But despite posting on my clips channel for a while here, I only have 98,000 views, which sounds like a lot, but it's not when you have to get up to 20 million. And like my main content. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. I did it wrong. I didn't hit lifetime. JK. Let me hit lifetime. Okay. My lifetime views are 501,000 views, which is not even a million, which is not even 10% of what it is now. So like, oh, Jesus Christ, dude. And to put that in perspective, my lifetime views for my long form content as for my reaction channel, mind you, is 1.1 million. You know what I mean? Dude. I don't know, dude. It's hard. Like I can't even I'm working hard to get my like reaction videos to consistently hit 5k views. Like that's what I want right now. That's been my goal. Like I've been repackaging videos, going through trying to make everything better, and my goal right now is to hit 5k views like on average per video. And that in itself is hard because most of them sit around 1,500 views. So it's like, oh my god. Uh, why? Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm definitely gonna keep grinding, but holy shit. On the upside, my reaction channel, I think, let me see. Yeah, my reaction channel will be fine for the going up to 8,000. Luckily, because I post so fucking much, I probably annoying people. But no, my reaction video or my reaction channel will be fine as far as long form. Like it meets the requirements for that shit, but oh my god. Well, okay, so here's the thing that I have to say to that. I've watched all the X-Men movies because I really like the X-Men. Um, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I actually was dragged there to watch them, so most of them I don't really care for. But that being said, you also have to take in consideration that like there's a percentage of the player base that plays Marvel Rivals that doesn't play Marvel Rivals because it's Marvel. They play Marvel Rivals because they play hero shooters. So you're going to have players come in that maybe they played Paladins because Paladins has stopped updating. Like a year or two ago, and they're looking for another hero shooter that's not Overwatch. Or you have people that play Overwatch that are tired of fucking Overwatch and they wanted to play something new, you know. Or yeah, because of the skins, because they're like, oh, damn, that's hot. I want that. I'll play that, you know. So, you know, you got to keep that in mind. I know it's kind of egregious in a way, especially if you're a Marvel fan, but there is that percentage. Like, if DC ever comes out with a hero shooter, DC better fucking come out with a hero shooter, or I will fucking find them and track them down. Anyway, then there's going to be a percentage of people that have never seen anything from DC. I don't think somebody's old for watching Marvel movies and X-Men movies. I say X-Men because they weren't part of the cinematic universe, but you know that. Um, just checking something. Tracking. Okay. So, uh, it's okay. It's not the end of the, you know, that's when you do this, right? Instead of being like, you've never seen this movie? Kind of like how, like, when Speedy told me he never watched the Avatar TV show. And I was like, what do you mean? But you know what? He said he'd watch it. So take it as an opportunity to then turn around and be like, hey, you know what? Let me show you something cool. And maybe they'll like it, you know? Maybe they'll like it. You don't know. Maybe their situation was different growing up. Like, I know growing up, I didn't get to see a lot of media unless I was around, like, friends and stuff, because I just wasn't allowed to do a lot of things. So, you know, give them that opportunity. Why don't you just build that bridge? Like, hey, yo, let's get in the Discord call then. Like, let's get in the Discord call. Let me show you some fucking bomb ass movies. Let's just like chill and watch the movies together. Make you a friend. Get them into the X-Men movie. That's what you do. Don't take it as a, you've insulted my heritage, my cow, disrespected my bloodline. You know what I mean? Like, don't take it like that. Just take it like a, ooh, potential to make a new friend. You know, potential to show them something fucking cool. That's what you do. What's happening today? I've been chilling, tired. I had a bad night last night, so I'm just existing today. DC been struggling with their games other than Lego Batman. Yeah. I listen, I like DC more than more than Batman. I just read Lego Batman, so my brain just fucking crashed. Let me try again. I like DC more than Marvel. And the reason why I like DC more than Marvel is DC has a lot more darker themes. I'm not talking about fucking like Superman, Wonder Woman shit. Like, I didn't really care for that shit. I'm talking about Batman. Batman is my shit. Batman, Suicide Squad, like anything to do with like Gotham. Like, it's dark. It's dark. It's great. It's exciting. Do I want to play the Enchantress than a fucking hero shooter? You bet your fucking ass I would. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, Marvel has some dark parts, but it doesn't hit the fucking same. You know what I mean? Like, the darkest shit I've ever seen from Marvel is the fucking Daredevil. And I'm not talking about the fucking TV show. I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the movie. You want to talk about old? I had that movie on VHS, and it had the Bring Me to Life soundtrack on it. Like, the music video, actually, at the end. If you watch the movie all the way through, it had the Bring Me to Life music video at the end of the VHS. Hey. Nope. I am not a comic book reader. Nope. Not that. I did read manga, but manga, I mean, I guess you can technically say manga is the Japanese version of American comics. Manhwa is the Chinese version. Hello! Yes, it is me. It is I. Oh, my voice broke. I try to hit a low note this early. I mean, I'm already talking low, but I try to hit a lower note. That did not work. Oh man. Much darker villains. Yeah, DC does have much darker villains. That shit gets really dark. I think the darkest villain that I recall. All right, and you might give me sass. That's fine. I don't. That's fine. Okay, you can argue with me till the cows come home. This is my humble opinion. All right, this is my opinion. I want you guys to be clear about this. My opinion and how I feel about it because I feel strongly about it. And if you have a different opinion, that's cool. But the darkest villain for me in Marvel, and technically these movies weren't part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe anyway, because Sony owned them. And you know who I'm talking about now at this point. Probably. Was Green Goblin. That the storyline and the backstory and everything with Green Goblin and the twisted way that he thought and the way that William Dafoe brought that role to life. I'm sorry, but the only other villain that could ever touch William Dafoe's Green Goblin was Heath Ledger's Joker. And I said what I said. Like, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy and the Dark Knight trilogy, those are my fucking top. And I'll fight anybody over it. Those are my fucking top. They have the darkest storylines that I've, like, seen in a long time. They, maybe not the darkest, but they deliver it so fucking well. Thank you for the sub. Yes, they deliver it really fucking well. In a point that makes you feel so many different things. A good villain, a dark villain, shouldn't just make you feel like, oh, they're bad. Oh, they're evil, like Thanos, right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah, hate that guy. And, like, realistically, you could be like, well, Thanos had this idea in mind, but everybody knows that's a stretch. They did not build Thanos' character fucking enough for him to have that much of a dynamic anything. He's just a fucking purple turd that's shit. I'm just saying. Right? Even Bane in the Dark Knight trilogy was kind of mid. I felt the same way about Bane. It was just kind of like, he's there. Whatever. But Heath Ledger and William Dafoe brought so much dynamicism to the fucking role, and they got so fucking deep in it, and it was so good and so faceted around that character that it's almost like you hated to hate them. You hated to be against them because they had so much into their character. Because it's like you could look and, oh yeah, they killed all these people, but look at this man. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's, for me, it's the villain that makes me question whether I actually hate him. That's usually the best villain. And I don't mean like a morally gray villain. There's a whole nother category for that. I mean like an actual bad dude. That's more of a William Dafoe thing. He made the character, but I can definitely see him coming back in the newer films. It's fun. Yeah. Tobey Maguire is my goat. Yes, dude. Listen, I know people are like, Tom Holland's the best. Tom Holland's great. And Tom Holland is great. Tom Holland is great for the iteration of Spider-Man that they put him in. I mean, shit, his fucking Aunt May looked like she was fucking 30. Okay. Right? So, the whole iteration that they put Tom Holland in is a very young iteration. I know her tombstone says she was like 60, and then that brings up a whole other slew of things, whatever, but he just fit the like fucking younger aesthetic for like Spider-Man, and that's fine. I don't personally like that aesthetic. The only, other than the one that I was made to watch, the only actual newer Spider-Man anything that I volunteered to watch was the one where all three of them were in it because Tom Holland came back. Or not Tom Holland. Fuck. Not Tom Holland. Tobey Maguire came back, and I was like, fuck yeah. I'll watch it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Andrew Garfield, I never watched because I was so confused about the concept and the version of what his fucking Spider-Man was. And I was like, okay. All right. I guess. I don't know. Like, I know it had some darkness in it and stuff, but I don't know. Hey, I mean, there's nothing wrong with everybody liking all the Spider-Man. There's nothing wrong with people liking one over the other. There's really not. Me sharing my opinion is by no means a factual, like, my word is law. I'm just more so like just sharing like how I feel about things. That's it. Uh no, Nicolas Cage was the best fucking Ghost Rider, dude. That's another movie that I watched for Marvel. I loved Ghost Rider. Holy fuck, I watched the shit out of that movie. I loved it. I loved it. Now, like, Spirit of Vengeance was okay. It was alright. But like the first one fucking nailed the shit out of that shit, and it was dark and it was good. And it was like you felt like he was almost an anti-hero even though he wasn't, and it's just like, oh, this is so good, man. I love this. You know what I mean? I love Gwen Stacy being the love interest that time around. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think they should have done more with Gwen instead of killing her off in those movies, but I'm really looking forward to the new Spider-Verse movie to come out. I don't know what that one would be. I've seen some stuff from Miles Morales, and he seems pretty cool. But I don't know. Yeah, Spirit of Vengeance wasn't that good. I was excited because I was like, Ghost Rider! And then I watched it and I was like, oh, alright. William Dafoe is like RDJ and Hugh Jackman. They played their roles so fucking well and would be almost impossible to replace. I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't really care for Iron Man all that fucking much, but I can respect the role that he played and how well he did it. Mainly, I just don't like his attitude, but that's Iron Man, right? That's Iron Man. That just proves that he did his job well. But yeah, Hugh Jackman not being Wolverine, that was, yeah, I can't do it. It's like when they recast The Witcher. I cannot watch any of the new Witcher that doesn't have the fucking, oh, what's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can see his face. What is his fucking name? Why can't I fucking say his name? I can't remember right now. Henry Cavill. Thank you. Yes. Yes. It's like The Witcher without Henry Cavill. It's just too fucking weird. And I get why Henry Cavill stepped down. I read all this stuff. Like, they weren't following the source material. I get it. I understand. Doesn't mean I'm any less upset about it. It's just like when the voice actor for Kenpachi stepped down from doing the English dub for Bleach because he wasn't getting paid what he should have been being paid. It makes it really, like, I still watched it, but I was upset because it's not the same. It's not the same. And that's just a voice, you know? Guarantee whoever the new Wolverine is will not be as good as Hugh Jackman. There's no fucking way. Yeah. Well, I mean, at least Henry Cavill's serious about the roles he takes. Like, he wants to make sure that, like, you know, whatever he does, it's, like, legit. So, I respect it. I respect it. Here, I guess I can hide my icons. We'll just make it more like a, wait, where's the fucking, is the option? Oh, I'm just blind. Oh, I'm just blind. There. It's more of a just chatting. Just talking? Just talking. Just talking also works. Oh, I broke myself on TikTok. Whoops. See. Let me fix. Really? On TikTok, I should be like this. Hold on. We're gonna rearrange ourselves. Whoopsie. Okay. There we go. That works. I have hope for Harry Potter being the new Wolverine. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't. Is this the middle of the screen? Did I fuck? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of making my brain go, I don't know. Yeah, definitely rewatch. Ruin the Witcher for me? Yeah. Yes. It's because Henry's a gamer. See, I don't know, like how would you make a movie or whatever and you want to hire this big name actor that you fucking know could do really fucking well. You know what I mean? Like, why would you I don't know, why would you not follow the source material? That's crazy. I don't know how I feel about Michael B. Jordan being Wolverine either. I don't know. That's that casting Michael B. Jordan as Wolverine feels to me like casting Jessica Alba for Storm. That just feels weird. They could pull it off, they could do it well, but like I don't know how well actually. They could do all right, but I don't know. It just feels weird to me. But then again, I guess at the same breath, like before I even say anything else in the same breath, it just feel I think no matter who you told me, you could tell me like Henry Cavill's gonna play the Wolverine and I'd still probably be like, you know what I mean? I think it's one of those things that it doesn't matter who you tell me. If it's not Hugh Jackman, it's going to feel weird to me. And I think that's kind of like what it was like with the Spider-Mans after Tobey Maguire, right? Because for me, I was like, oh my God, a new Spider-Man. And then here comes Andrew Garfield. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's fucking weird. Please don't ever put Ryan Gosling in a Marvel anything. Because, like, he has been in too many, like, other things that, like, putting him in a Marvel, unless you're putting him, like, in some kind of comedy thing would be weird. I don't know. It just doesn't fit for me. But also, fucking, I don't know. A white guy for Black Panther would be fucking weird. I'm just gonna say it. It would be fucking weird. It's like casting a person of color for Snape in the new Harry Potter show. It's well, actually, that's a little bit more than weird. That's going to turn into some racism that it shouldn't be racist, but it's going to turn into that. And I feel like that was not thought out very well. I think he's played Wolverine so long, it's going to be a weird feeling those shoes. Yeah. Yep. 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 That was exactly it. I was hoping for Spider-Man 4, and they were like, The Amazing Spider-Man. And I was like, ah. And then here's Andrew Garfield. And it's like, oh, fuck me. Who the fuck is this? But Nick, are you talking about for Spider-Man or are you talking about something else? Let me ask that. It's okay, but it's funny, but it's going to be so fucked up because you think about it. Harry's dad is white as a fucking sheet, has two white friends, and they're bullying Snape, one of the only black kids that they show in the flashback. You know, that would be shown in the flashback, and they're bullying the person of color kid in the fucking classroom, and that turns into racism. You know what I mean? Oh, we don't trust Severus Snape. Oh, he's weird. Oh, he's, being the only, like, one of the only fucking person of color professor. Bro, that is going to turn so fucking wrong. I don't understand why they didn't think about that. Like, why would you, you could have made a person of color Dumbledore, or Minerva, or Professor Sprout, or Professor Flitwick, and it wouldn't have had the same ramifications. It literally wouldn't have. It would have been fine. Like, honestly, I thought they were gonna make Hermione a person of color because in all the stage actions, that's what she is. Because she's not described as having a color. She's just described as her hair. But you put the one guy described as being sickly pale with oily hair who gets bullied, who nobody trusts throughout the whole fucking series, and you're like, yep, let's put a minority there. Why? That's insane to me. That's crazy. Yeah, James hangs him from a tree too. Like, what are we doing? Oh my God, what are we doing? It's just insane to me. Yeah, that's gonna show great on film. Oh man. Like, listen, I am all for diversifying the casts of like media to include everybody, to include trans, to include bi, to include more females, to include more person of color, whatever. I am all down for it. I am here for it. I am here for that diversity. I think everybody should have a chance. What I'm not here for is putting somebody that's in a minority in a role that's going to make it look much worse. That is all. Or, for example, because it was brought up, if you put a white person as Black Panther, that's weird. That's weird. That's like making a new Blade movie and casting Blade as a white dude. No. That doesn't even make sense. That's weird. Don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Fucking let it be Chris Rock. They're gonna make How are they gonna make James a minority when Harry is white as a fucking sheet of paper, dude? Because then you're implying that Lily cheated on James, and then that just goes, Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that. I have mixed feelings about the casting for The Little Mermaid, but overall, I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, at first, I was like, what? Because I was like, how are you going to make a live action of a classic Disney whatever? But I can also acknowledge that a lot of the classic Disneys that were made earlier, a lot of the characters were white, so it's okay. Like, that I'm okay with, right? It was a little weird at first and a little bit something that I had to digest, but I was like, hey, you know what? It actually doesn't make difference. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Person of color, like Little Mermaid, that's fine. What would have been weird, though, is if they casted a person of color for Snow White. Because Snow White is literally called Snow White because her skin is pale. So that would have been weird, though. That one would have been a no-go. That would have been like, no. But yeah, we don't talk about the live-action Snow White either because the actress they cast is a piece of shit anyway. And I've heard that movie was a train wreck. So, I want to watch the new Harry Potter TV show because it's supposed to include a lot more stuff. But I already know it's going to be an adjustment period, not only because of Snape, really, like putting that aside, putting the Snape stuff aside. Like, it's going to be an adjustment because obviously it's a new cast, it's new people, it's new kids, it's new, and to grow up watching Harry Potter and the actors and the people that played those roles and how they brought them to life, that is going to be bizarre for me. So I don't know how I feel about it yet, but But at the same time, it would be like if they casted like a white person for Tiana if they did a live action Prince of the Fog, people would riot. I think the thing that bothers me is like when they is that people, how do I say this the right way? When there is a certain skin tone or race for a certain role, and it's been that way since XYZ, like it's either like in comics or it's written clearly in the books, and or they have older media that is portrayed that way, and people fall in love with that character, people fall in love with whatever. What bothers me then is no matter what, it bothers me if they put a different race into that role that is a very popular role. And you can say it either way, because it bothers me both ways. It bothers me if they put a white person in place of a person of color that shouldn't be there. And it bothers me if they put a person of color in the role of a white person because, it doesn't make sense, like the Snape thing. But I do feel like there are some roles that are very lax. They're very loose. They are very open to interpretation. And those I'm fine with. what I'm talking about specifically is just the specific roles that have a certain race attached to them very clearly by described in media or whatever, whatever. That's how I feel. Otherwise, if there's not a specific descriptor and there is not a long-term fan base following this specific look of this character, then it would be fine. But, you know. They should have just brought back Daniel Radcliffe and put him in a spinner hat to make him look young. They should have just cast Daniel Radcliffe as Snape, bro. That would be so funny. Jesus. Unless it's like Spider-Man in the Marvel universe where there's infinite different Spider-Mans, I think roles should be restrained to their original description. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. If they have a original, like, specific description, they should go by that specific description. That's basically all I'm saying. Hello, Moon. I've been alright. How have you been? You know what I mean? And I feel like that is not unreasonable to say. Daniel Radcliffe? Holy shit, dude. Daniel Radcliffe is Voldemort. Fuck! My brain just fucking died 20 times. Holy hell. The original actor that played Voldemort is still alive and kicking. He could do Voldemort again. I believe in him. Daniel Radcliffe as Snape would have gone hard. It really fucking would have. It really fucking would have. I've been well. This heat is insane, bro. This heat is absolutely fucking insane. Fucking insane. The Rock is Voldemort. Like, the spectacle. What the fuck? I would have problems with the Rock being Voldemort mainly because in all of the art that he's depicted, and I'm not even talking about how he's pale. I'm talking about in the art that he's depicted, he's like this slender fucking dude. You know what I mean? He's a very slender, bony looking fucking dude. So then you have somebody that's like built like The Rock. Oh my God. John Cena as Harry Potter. Oh my God. Dude, John Cena in any role is actually fucking hilarious. I have a lore drop that's related to John Cena, but I don't want to make it sad, so I don't know if I should tell you guys. But it is sad. It's a little sad. That's better than Harry becomes Snape. Swore to Mort about a cadaver ain't working, so he bulked up. Harry becomes Sirius Black. Ooh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Though Gary Oldman's still kicking, but he might be too old for the role at this point. How are you supposed to see the main character of the series? Wait. Oh, because John Cena. Ha 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 ha. You guys are hilarious. How are you feeling? Feeling alright. How you doing? I love me some John Cena. Yes. Don't want to see The Rock with no nose. No, The Rock with no nose would be really fucking weird. Not gonna lie. WWE does Harry Potter for the next WrestleMania. Has anyone seen the video where Harry gets them to open a gym at Hogwarts and everyone gets games? What the fuck? Gary Oldman was the best Jim Gordon there ever was. Gary Oldman was the best Sirius Black there ever was, dude. I love Gary Oldman. He's such a great actor. Hello, hello. I had a rough night, but I'm vibing now. I hope everybody else had a good day. I love Peacemaker. I haven't seen Peacemaker. Or is that a movie? I know Peacemaker is like a person, but I don't know if they actually made a movie just about him. They did, didn't they? Or was he just in Suicide Squad? Oh my God, I don't know. I'm getting on my wires crossed. I don't know at this point. Adam Sandler as Thor. I can just picture Adam Sandler yelling in that fucking voice. It's like his fucking signature fucking voice, dude. Oh my God. The boy who lifted. Fuck. The Rock said he wanted to be Batman, I believe. Bro, that'd be even weirder. Like, Batman's bulky, but I don't know. The problem with him being Batman is, like, I would still hear The Rock no matter what. Which is why I haven't watched some of these new Batman, because I'm like, I don't know. Rob Schneider as Loki. Jim Carrey is like, what the fuck? That's a weird one. At least Adam Sandler Thor will get the girl at the end. Damn. Do you smell what the bat is cooking? Oh man. I'm the god of lightning. It's Adam Sandler's scream. Yes. Oh my fucking god. The Rock is far too vocal and non-monotone. Yes, that's my point. Is he'd be trying, and besides, if The Rock played Batman, they'd have to add Robin into the movie because Robin would have to be played by Nope, my brain said the wrong name, and it is not the name that I'm thinking of. Kevin Hart. Yes, thank you. Holy shit. My brain brought up the wrong name, and that's why I didn't say it because I knew it was wrong. Yes. Yeah, the Robin had to be played by Kevin Hart. That'd be great. The thing about The Rock doing Batman is that they can make it work, but it'll be a standalone. Yeah. All right. Let's take 5, everybody. We got ads. If you are on Twitch, I'm going to be pulling up our words on stream for you guys to play. If you're not on Twitch, wait for me until I get back. And I guess vibing. All right, we'll be right back in 5 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Shit. I was saying nice that you guys got it, and I was like, I have no idea what the last one was because I was watching the end of it to let you guys finish the game. I have no idea what that would have been. That's crazy. Yeah, I lost my voice. It's gone forever. I now speak in facial expressions, but unfortunately this model doesn't convey them that well. Ba da ba. Oh man. Uh well, for anybody that's been keeping up with me on Discord. So, okay, so I will be short and to the point as much as I can to not go on a whole spiel. Um No, I will still have ASMR. I will get my voice back. I'll go make a deal with a sea witch. Get my voice back. um, but basically, okie dokie, Nano. I know they'd be so sad. I can't do that to them. Can't do that to them. Um, what happened? Not that much. I just came back. We just chit chatting. So there was this I'm on book talk slash mass talk slash bike talk lately a lot. And there was this like mass talk dude that had like a really nice voice. He was like a VA. And I found out he streamed on Twitch. So when he went live on Twitch last night, I was like, oh, let me go see. You know what I mean? And he wasn't what I expected, but I think that's like a given. But also, like, he dead ass ignored his chat for like the first 20 minutes. Like, I was sitting in there and I didn't say anything because I observe, right? I observe first before I say anything. But he, like, dead ass ignored his chat for the first 20 minutes. He also, what kind of made it double whammy, and this is a whole story, so if you want to know the story, tell me. Otherwise, I'm just going to brush over it. There's this other voice actor that I met a long time ago named George, and he reminded me a lot of this guy named George. And I was like, nope, we're leaving. Listen, okay, listen, that sounds really pretentious. It's not about the look exactly. It's not about how somebody looks. It's about how their eyes look and how their personality is. Because you can tell a lot about somebody with just their eyes. And I know that sounds crazy, or I know you've heard it before, and it might sound silly, but it's so fucking true. You can see it in their eyes. That's why, like, I don't blindly follow every mass talker. Because if I look at their eyes and either they look like they're a fucking fetus, like they look like they're 18, 19 years old, no. Or they just look like somebody that just doesn't have good vibes. No. I only follow the ones that I've seen their eyes and I'm like, okay, yep, good. You good. Okay, I'll tell you about George. So, to tell you about George, because this story is going to get a little sad, I have to explain something about borderline personality disorder, and I'm going to try to be very, like, to the point with it, okay? Borderline personality disorder, there's a part of it where you get what's called a favorite person. Okay, and this isn't just a normal favorite person. This isn't just like a, hey, that dude's really cool, or hey, that girl's really cool, you know what I mean? When somebody with borderline personality disorder gets a favorite person, it just happens usually because they trigger like a response that makes them feel safe or something, which is a rarity for people that have BPD in my experience, in my personal experience. So to me, it starts off like that. They make you feel seen. They make you feel heard. They become your favorite persons. Great. accept all of your emotions, your very deep, very overpowering emotions suddenly revolve around this person. That's a lot of our responsibility to put on a person, and it's even worse for the other person experiencing it because you read into things. If they're having a bad day or if they seem angry, you take it personally. You know what I mean? Like it becomes very toxic. You do not want to be somebody's favorite person, and you do not want to advocate for a person with BPD to have a favorite person. It's not healthy. It's just not. So, I know like TikTok likes to romanticize it, but it's not. I promise. Oh, I was streaming, and this voice actor, he was a voice actor as well, comes into my chat. Hey, how you doing? What's up? At the time, I was a lot more lenient letting people into my voice chat. This is one of the many reasons why I don't anymore. Unless I know you really well. And he joined the voice chat. He had a really nice voice. You guys know when you watch my ASMR or something, if you watch my ASMR, if you don't, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I'm kidding. But you know when you watch, those of you that watch my ASMR, you know when I get that tone of voice and you really like that tone of voice and it like, you know, chemicals in your brain go, bing, I like this. He had the same kind of voice, just male. Hello, Jay, what's up? It's good to see you too. And so I was like, bro, I could listen to this dude talk all day. Holy shit. You know what I mean? And he's actually the one who encouraged me to go for voice acting, to start working on that, like, other voice and stuff that I use and everything. So I guess inadvertently thank him. But anyway, at the time I was married. You guys remember I told you guys I got married when I was like 21, and I was only married for like a year or so. Okay. Very stupid. So at the time I was married, but our marriage was falling to shambles. All right. He was cheating on me, among other things, and it was really bad. Okay, it was really bad. It was the beginning of the end. Which I mean, technically we were married for 2 years, and then the divorce happened a year later. So you can say 3 years because I got married when I was like 21. So anyway, so I become friends with this guy named George. I have all my other friends around. We're not having one-on-one conversations or anything like that, okay? I want to make that very clear. I don't believe in cheating even if someone else is cheating on me. I don't think it's right no matter what. I have my own standards. I have my own boundaries. But he started started just having these long conversations with me, listening to me, understanding me, telling me he supported, you know, what I did, which not a lot of people, actually no one in my real life actually did. I still don't, but anyway. And, you know, that, it gave me the reassurance that I didn't know that I was necessarily asking for. So he became my favorite person. So he's a good mood, I was a good mood. When he's a bad mood, I was in a bad mood. And it became very not good. And essentially it got to the point where he developed feelings for me. And he sent me a message. And this was after we had been talking as friends, making that distinction because I always had somebody around. I never had one-on-one conversations with him by himself, ever. But anyway, so, about a month or so after we had just started being friends, talking, everything, hanging out, he sent me this text message and he was like, so are you going to leave your husband for me? And I was like, no. And he's like, what do you mean no? He was like, your husband's like this piece of crap, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I said, I know, I vented to you about my husband, but at the end of the day, like, he's still my husband. Like, our marriage is falling apart. We're probably going to get a divorce, but I'm not going to leave my husband for somebody else. Like, that's all kinds of fucked. I was like, what signs did I give you that I was going to leave my husband? Oh man, this man just freaked the fuck out. Okay. He started posting on his Twitter and everything else, talking about how I had been leading him on, how I was this, how I was that. And baby, I had screenshots. And I sent those screenshots and I was like, you sit your ass down, because nowhere did I ever lead you on. Don't fucking play with that. But despite all that going on, he had become a favorite person. So it literally crushed me. It destroyed me. I was a wreck because I thought I had led him on inadvertently. I thought I had said something wrong. I felt so fucking alone. I was heartbroken, to be honest. Like, really, I was heartbroken because I was like, hey, it's my favorite person. So it was this really fucking complex shit going on. Very drama. And he blocked me on everything. He started like shit talking me. I mean, it was bad. And when I tell you that was the iceberg of my fucking 6-month span before I completely deleted my Twitch channel and started over, it was the iceberg, my friends. It was the iceberg. Some people want to be like, well, I can't see that you've been streaming for 11 years because your account doesn't go that far back. Yes, because I have trauma and drama that followed me for 6 months, and it wasn't just this guy. There was a lot of other stuff after it that just made me decide to nuke my account and start over, because I was fucking done with it. I was fucking done with the people that were around me, and I just want to start over, and that is why I started over. How you doing? But yeah, so it was hard. But basically, the Mass Talk guy who's the VA, he gave me those vibes, and I was like, nope. We're leaving. I think to make matters worse, my best friend at the time had taken over my Discord. And let me explain that part a little bit. So my old Discord, I had a specific channel set up for mods to go into and talk and chit chat. I had a secondary voice chat for my friends, like my actual online friends, that was separate from the community, because I don't know. To be honest, I don't have one now. Like, I can show you the Discord channels. I don't have one of those now. But at the time I had one. And I think part of it was because we had a couple members of the community, which aren't part of the community anymore, that made people very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And stuff. So anyway, you had to have a specific role to access this channel. So at the same time, all that stuff with George was going on, I was fucking just shattered. Because like I told you, favorite person, it doesn't make sense. It's hard for people to wrap their head around. But it was basically like losing, like somebody died. That's the best way I can say it. Even though he was a piece of shit, it felt like somebody died. So anyway, so for this channel, you had to have a specific role to access the channel. But it was a private channel. It was one that I controlled, right? It was one I controlled who goes in there, who doesn't go in there, because I gave the rules. I made the mistake of giving my friend the ability to give people roles like that. So at the time all this is going on, my quote-unquote best friend at the time had been letting these random ass guys from the Minecraft Sky, whatever the fuck it is, and letting these random ass guys go in there. So, and I told him more than once, I said, stop adding people I do not know to this private Discord channel. I do not like it. I don't know them. I don't want them in my personal channels unless I know them. Like, I feel like that wasn't unreasonable. And he said, oh, yeah, okay. So when the stuff with George happened and I went to, like, go into the channel to talk with my friends, imagine my surprise when there's, like, fucking 10 other people that I have no idea who they are. You know? Because, like I said, this was a private channel. This wasn't open to the whole community. So I kind of lost it. And I said, fuck it. I am fucking done. So I removed his privileges. I removed all of their privileges. I kicked them all out of the fucking voice channel. And that kind of started the whole rift with my best friend at the time. Right after the George stuff. the same fucking day. And that was a mess. But wait, it gets better, guys. All right, so let's go into the next chapter. This happened a month later. All right. So a month later, I'm talking with one of my other friends who's not my friend anymore because they just kind of like drifted to someone else, but that's a whole other thing. But I was talking to my friend, and it was late night. We were hanging out in the community Discord because I had deleted that channel after that. I was fucking done, dude. We were talking on community Discord, and I was just going through random streams. I was like, I want to make some streamer friends, dude. You know what I mean? I want to make some streamer friends. I don't want to feel alone doing this content creation shit. I want to be able to help other VTubers, and I want to make some VTuber friends. That, you know, innocent. Haha. Joke's on me. Anyway, I'm giving you guys pointers before we even get there. So I ran across this stream one night of this VTuber who was streaming Honkai Impact 3rd, which I was playing a lot of at the time. And it's not a very popular game. It's still not a very popular game. Has a lot of players, but not very popular. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh my god, they're playing Honkai Impact 3rd, and they're a VTuber. Holy shit. And my friend was like, what are you doing? Follow them. Like, follow them and, you know, talk to them. I was like, oh, but what if they're mean? You know what I mean? I was like, what if they're mean? What if they're awful? What if they're this? What if they're that? You know what I mean? How do I... Hold on. I have some stupid person in my chat on Kick, of course. Of course it's fucking Kick. Anyway, so I did, and I became friends with this person. Kind of. And I have to sign into my Kick. God damn it. Ah! Anyway, so I became friends with this person, and it turns out they were friends with other, like, VTubers and shit. And I was like, oh, cool, whatever, awesome. And so I meet this other group of VTubers. So, and they gave me a breakdown, right? They gave me a breakdown of, like, who everybody was, what everybody was, whatever. So let me think of some names to give people, because I'm not trying to out people like that. So let's just say the first person I met, let's call them Raspberry. All right. The person I met was called Raspberry. Then I met Kyo, who was married at the time to John. Right? Okay, let me ban this person. And mute this person. Goodbye. Disgusting. Anyway, so who's married to Joe. And then there was, I'll just say Kate. I don't know, dude. Hold on, let me catch up in the chat. I get that, Speedy. I get that. Hey, you know, it's okay. It happens. And sometimes that shit's hard. Sometimes it's fucking hard. But, so basically, Raspberry introduced me to Kyo and Joe and Katie. Maybe not Katie. Let's not use Katie, actually. Let's say Kyo and Joe, and then we'll say, Sue. Say Sue. All right. So, Raspberry was also married to John. I don't know. John. We'll go with that. There's more layers to this, but we're just going to stick with the main contenders here. So I meet all of them. They're cool. Whatever. I give them a lot of advice. because I'm a nice person. I also do free art for them. I do free alerts for them. I do everything in my experience that I can do to help them be better with their channels, because they were just becoming affiliate. They were, doing this, that, and the other. Whatever. They refused to work with me. They didn't want, if we collab, they wanted it to be only on their channel, not on my channel. They didn't want to really interact with me on stream, but they wanted me to come interact with them. That's just the tip of the iceberg, man. It gets bad. So, Q and Joe, I become friends with Joe more so than Q, because Q has found another group, right? Outside this initial group, Q has found another group, okay? And she hangs out with this group all the time. So me and John become friends, closer than me and Raspberry and John and me and Sue. But Sue comes and joins the group too. So it's me, John, or me, what did I say? Me, Joe, and Sue. Trying to keep the names straight. So me, Joe, and Sue hanging out a lot, whatever. Then we invited several times. I'm laughing because I know what we're about to get into. We invited several times. We invited Kyo, right? Joe's wife. We invited Kyo to come hang out with us several times. And mind you, it's always the three of us. Me, Joe, and Sue. Always hanging out. We invited Kyo to come hang out with us many times. We were playing Lost Ark at the time. We're like, come hang out with us. Didn't want to. Joe had a problem with Raspberry because Raspberry liked to bully Joe anytime Joe was around their stream. So we didn't hang out with Raspberry all that much. I hung out with Raspberry when I was hanging out with Joe and Sue. But anyway. So then, all that considered, what happened next kind of hit me out of fucking left field. It was like 8 o'clock at night. Mind you, I'm still in my shit marriage. Okay. That's important somewhere. And the next thing I know, I get a message from a third-party friend. I didn't name them yet because they're not super important to this. But they messaged me and they said, have you been cheating with Joe? I was like, what now? I'm sorry? And they're like, oh yeah, Kyo just pulled Raspberry and me and Sue, right? Remember I told you Sue was hanging out with me and Joe? It was always me, Joe, and Sue, okay? Sue and John, Raspberry's husband, was there too, and other members from the group. And Kyo told us that Joe has been cheating on her with you and is very abusive. And I'm like, what? I'm sorry? So I go to Joe and I'm like, Joe, what the fuck is this? I was like, have you been saying some weird shit to your wife or something? Like, why would she think that? Like, it's literally me, you, and Sue. And I was like, also, why the fuck didn't Sue say anything? Like, Sue is supposedly in this meeting. And, like, now Kyo thinks that you're cheating on her with me. And I'm also married. So I wouldn't do that anyway. And now you're apparently abusive? Like, what is going on? And he's like, I have no fucking idea. So I get together my original friend group, the one that was outside of this group, and I told them what's going on. I had no idea. And then the plot gets thicker. No, it gets thicker, guys. All right. So I then find out from the friend who originally was sitting there with me to get into Raspberry's stream to make friends. That friend popped into the voice channel and said, hey, so John, Raspberry's husband, who you're friends with on Steam, has been watching your Steam account and has been telling Raspberry and Kyo every time you and John play a game together. I was like, bitch, what? Why is he... I'm sorry? What does it fucking matter who I play games with? And why is he watching my Steam? He was like, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, which is weird because this guy ends up becoming really good friends with John. That's fucking weird. So, that's Dad. All right. Before I add into that, let's get a little deeper into this before I add the punchline to all this, man. All right. So, I decide I'm going to go talk to Kyo. I was like, I'm going to go talk to her because what the fuck is going on? I'm so fucking confused. I talked to her and I said, we get into a Discord call. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? I was like, I'm not cheating on my husband with Joe. It's literally been me, Joe, and Sue in a call. I don't know why Sue didn't tell you that. And I don't know where you got this misinformation, but nothing is going on. She's like, really? Well, I can just message your husband so he's aware. I said, oh, sweetie. I was like, when all this shit happened, do you think I didn't go in there and tell my husband that this shit was happening? I did, because I'm responsible and I have a good head on my shoulders and I'm not doing anything wrong. So I said, feel free if you can find him in the Discord because nobody knows what his name is. And I was like, feel free to message him all you want, but he's not going to give a shit. You know, she said, well, regardless, he's also abusive. I said, he's abusive. Joe is abusive. She said, yeah, like all the time. I said, how is he abusive? She said, well, actually, it's not him that's abusive. Haha. See, there we go. There's the first one, guys. I said, okay, so why are you telling everyone he's abusive if you're saying now that he's not abusive? Well, it's actually his mom that's abusive. His mom that's abusive. Yeah, we got in a fight and she hit me. And so now I'm scared to live in the same house with him and his mom. I said, okay, then why didn't you have this conversation with Joe and figure out the living situation so you didn't have to live with his mother if she's that terrifying? Why would you bring in a group of people, accuse Joe of cheating with someone else in the group, which happens to be me, and then tell everybody that Joe is abusive? That's actually fucking insane. She said, yeah, you're right. I jumped on the conclusions and I shouldn't have said it. She was like, I'll talk to Joe and we'll figure it out. This back and forth, I'm just going to skim over this next little section. This back and forth goes on for a while, and I'm not talking about just this call. This back and forth is dealing with Kyo, dealing with Joe, trying to help them figure it out because they were fucking married. Ergo, me sticking my goddamn neck out for my friends, who I thought were my fucking friends. Trying to be a good person, trying to help people who were in pain, because that is what I do. It sucks, but it's just who I am. Fast forward a week of all this back and forth, talking to this person, talking to that person, talking to Raspberry, talking to John, talking to Sue, talking to Kyo, talking to Joe, all of it. Okay? And it was so much. I had to put my stream aside because it was so much fucking going on. I couldn't even focus the stream. So I had another conversation with Kyo, who agreed to have a conversation with Joe, finally, even though they fucking live together. Mind you. Crazy. And I go to tell Joe about it, who then proceeds to scream at me over the fucking phone. Tells me to stay the fuck out of his business. Says it's none of my business. Why am I in it? Why am I talking to his wife? Why am I even doing anything to help him? I'm like, okay, go fuck yourself. And I get off the fucking call. Because the fuck am I look like that I'm going to be fucking emotionally abused and yelled at over a fucking Discord call trying to stick my neck out to help you? Insanity. In-fucking sanity. I wish I could say that I cut the guy off and never talked to him again. But I'm a people pleaser and I let people run over me way too many fucking times and I deal with shit that I shouldn't, and so here we are. Anyway. So. Later on down the road, Kyo ends up leaving Joe, packing up while he's on call with me, and he's in fucking tears, begging her to stay. She leaves. Long story short, would you guys like to know why all these accusations started? Why all this shit started? Turns out, Kyo, who was in the group with the other people, who had been friends with a guy, had been quote unquote visiting her parents, who was about a 2-hour drive away, every weekend. And this had been going on for about 8 months, probably. This guy that Kyo was in the group with also coincidentally ended up living 2 hours away, just in another direction. Kyo was driving to this guy's house for 6 to 8 months, pretending she was going to her parents and sleeping with them and cheating on Joe. And she wanted out of the marriage. So instead of just saying, Joe, I'm not happy, I found somebody else, let me leave, she let this drag on for 6 to 8 months and then decided to drag everybody into her fucking bullshit, accuse everyone of doing something wrong to her so she'd feel less guilty about cheating. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, needless to say, they're divorced now. But I ended up getting dragged into the middle of fucking all of that for being a good fucking friend. And it fucking sucks ass. Needless to say, that's why I have issues trusting VTubers now, because I met so many in that group that ended up being pretentious bullshit people. Remember the friend I told you that told me all this? She ended up taking a lot of the community under her wing and still being friends and respecting the people that literally talked shit about me behind my back. And when I say talk shit about me, I don't mean they said, oh, Luna's a bad person. I mean they said some very fucking awful shit about me behind my back and dragged me through the mud. And there was a lot of friends that I had that even before that group that started to believe them, who I had known for years. Even though I had the proof that nothing was going on. I literally screenshotted every single text message I had with Joe, every single Discord message, and I sent it to be on display for the public because I was so tired of people being up my ass and not believing me. So, very much. It's crazy. I'd hate to say it, but it gets worse. It gets so much worse. This was probably one of the worst years I've had in a long time. Because it's not the end of that crazy year for me. It gets so much worse. Got a text message. I was crazy once. So, oh, what's that? Okay, that's fine. All right. So, how do we get worse from there, you may ask? How do we even get worse from there? Well, remember I told you guys my marriage was falling apart? So, slight context to what I'm about to say. My grandmother, who's my mom's mom. Hello! I know, crazy. Welcome in. I swear I could write a fucking soap opera on like parts of my life. I wish I was embellishing, but I'm actually under embellishing. I'm under telling you guys. I am giving you the gist of it. It's so much crazier than that, but I'm giving you the gist so it doesn't turn into like a 3-hour fucking story. Okay. So, my then at the time, on the ass end of all that, we need a bad writing team for real. Our marriage was falling apart. Right. So, and if it was falling apart for a lot of reasons, it was falling apart a long time before all this happened. And there's several reasons. If you caught my last lore drop in my most recent Goons video from yesterday, you'll understand part of why all of that was falling apart. It was really falling apart. It was really fucking bad. Really fucking bad. And he was also very narcissistic. Very narcissistic. because yay, I have BPD. I attract narcissists. We breed them. We breed narcissists. Not really. I'm not breeding nobody. Anyway. No, we attract narcissists like flies to honey. So basically what was happening here is like there was basically a straw that broke the camel's back. I already kind of knew that he was cheating, and that's not even what broke the camel's back. I told you guys I'm a people pleaser. I let people walk all over me. And I shouldn't, but I do. But anyway, so with my best friend nonetheless. It was fucking shit. Yeah. But so basically my grandmother, she died in the same year that my grandfather died. All right. And at the time I had one grandfather left, and my grandmother was basically the only connection I had left to my mother, who was also dead. And I had gotten really close to my grandmother. And remember, if you have seen my lore drop yesterday, you'll know that my grandmother, that visit, that was the last time I saw my grandmother. I just didn't know it was the last time. So basically, my grandmother dies of March that next year. My grandfather dies a week before Thanksgiving that year. But when my grandmother died in March, something to add into it. So she actually got buried in Pennsylvania. All right. My mother was also buried in Pennsylvania. At this point in time, I'm an adult. My mother had died when I was 6. The year I turned 7, but I hadn't turned 7 yet. So she died when I was 6. I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral. I have never seen her grave. So for me, going to drive up to Pennsylvania for my grandmother's funeral, it was a lot, right? It was a lot. It was a lot more than just, I'm burying my grandmother and I'm sad. It's, I'm burying my grandmother. I'm going to the same funeral home that my mother was buried, addressed and whatever, and then buried in the cemetery behind it. And then I'm going to go see my mother's grave for the first time. It was a lot for me. And my husband drives us up there. It was not a great trip up there. And I'm just trying to process, trying to deal with everything. Because mind you, I was told that my grandmother died by my cousin on my mom's side over a text message, or a Facebook message, actually, Facebook Messenger message from my cousin Sydney. She was like, have you heard about Grammy? And I said, what do you mean, have I heard about Grammy? She was like, she died. I was at work at the time. I was at Hot Topic. I burst into fucking tears. I go to my manager and I am just unconsolable because my grandmother just died and I was told over a fucking message. And she said, well, if you need 5 minutes, I can give you 5 minutes. She was like, but if you need to leave for the day, don't come back because you're fired. Needless to say, that's how I lost my job at Hot Topic, because I was not staying there when I couldn't fucking function. I called my husband at the time, told him what happened. I was crying tears on the fucking stair. I just needed him. And instead of him coming and picking me up from work, he said, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to leave work. I said, but I need you. I had to leave work. I have no way home. Like, I need you. I don't think I'm going to leave work. Sorry. Maybe you can call your grandma. My other grandma, by the way. My grandma that was still alive at the time. It wasn't a sick joke, okay? So, call my grandma. Keep in mind that my grandparents who were alive at the time was my dad's parents. So, they hated my mom's side of the family. Hated them, okay? And so, I called. And my grandpa was the one that always answered the phone. And I called and I was crying my fucking eyes out. And he was like, what happened? You know, and I told him and he said, oh. I said, so I need Granny to come get me. Like, I can't get home and he won't come get me. I need you. I need, if you could. I was like, I'll give you gas money. And my grandma gets on the phone. She's like, okay, as long as you give me gas money, yeah, I'll get you home. That gives you any idea of what our relationship's like. So I gave her gas money. She came, got me. She took me home. Oh, she took me back to her house. And then my husband came and got me later on when he got off work. But Yeah. And so, um, but my grandparents, my dad's parents didn't really care that my grandma had died because they hated her. So anyway, we make the drive to Pennsylvania, me and my husband, to go my grandmother. We get to the hotel room. Now, a little context. My husband's mother had died 6 years prior. Okay. And for some reason, the day before my grandmother's funeral, and I am just not in a good place, he decides to say, I miss my mom, and just starts bawling. And I'm just sitting here like, this can't be real. This can't be fucking real. I go from I am upset to pissed off in 5 seconds. I said, you cannot for one fucking second put aside whatever the fuck you've got going on to give me any kind of space. Mind you, the drive up there was horrible, okay? It was not kind. It was not compassionate. I was fucking tired. It was not a good drive up there. I was already fucking tired. And mind you, this is a pattern that follows me in every relationship. It does not fucking matter. I come to somebody with my problems. Their problems are more important. My problems go on the back burner. They don't fucking matter, right? So when something really bad happens, I just snap. I just fucking snap because I'm so fucking over it at that point. And I just go out of the hotel room and I sit and I fucking bawl my eyes out because I'm so tired. I'm so angry. I'm so mad. Anyway. So, needless to say, I had to deal with that all on my own. I had to deal with her funeral. I had to deal with her greedy ass fucking relatives, which, by the way, her greedy ass relatives screwed me out of the will. They forced my grandmother to sign documentation giving them full control of her land, which was supposed to go 1/3 to me. So that's fun. I mean, I'd rather have my grandmother back than a piece of fucking land, but at least the piece of fucking land could have helped me pay for my college, but her family doesn't care, and it's greedy, and it happens, and I just get screwed over, and that's fun. Anyway. And if you want to know about my parents, let me ask you a question. If you're currently in your 20s right now, especially... Okay, so if you're either currently in your 20 or you have been or are 27 years old... Answer me, at that age, how many of you would actually sit down and make a written will? Because I can tell you that I didn't even think. Even the moment I turned 20, I didn't say, I'm going to make a will. But the thought crossed my mind. But the only reason the thought crossed my mind is because my parents died when they were 27. Exactly. So you don't really think about it in your 20s that I'm going to write a written will. So that's why I didn't inherit anything from my parents. That's why the money they had saved up for me for college went to my dad's parents who adopted me because they planted drugs on my mother. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole long story. That's a whole different story. We're not going that way right now. Anyway. So basically all that shit happened. I had to deal with the death of my grandmother alone because he was a fucking no help. And I did not have it in me to fucking give a shit at that point. Because I'm like, you're not here for me. I don't give a shit. Why did I not leave at that point, you may ask? Because I have a very low standpoint for what my self-worth is. That's why. Thank you. Yes, rest in peace. Yes. So then my grandfather dies the week before Thanksgiving. He got cancer. It escalated very quickly because he went and got radiation treatment that actually sped up his cancer instead of helping, because that can happen. And he only got it because my aunt convinced him to, and she essentially killed him and then decided to blame my grandmother for it. And it was a whole fucking thing. And my aunt's a bitch. Because she tried to blame my grandmother. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Anyway, but he died. I was the only one, by the way, that went and saw him, despite the shit that he did to me growing up. I was the only one that went and sat by his bed and talked to him and sat with him. I even made him pot brownies because he was in so much pain to help him with the pain. I was the only one. The only fucking one other than his wife that actually sat beside him and talked to him the week that he was dying. But, you know, don't worry. They were all with their hands out when he died. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I want money. Is it the mom's side of the family, the drama? My mom's side of the family has a little bit, but it's mainly my dad's. My dad's side of the family, that's the side I was raised on. So, the reason I told you all that, because it was important in context for what I was about to tell you, that was the tipping point of why me and my shit ex-husband got divorced. Among many other reasons. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. So, fast forward to the next year, summer of the next year, his dad gets sick. But keep in mind that his dad had a genetic condition that affected his lungs. This was something he was born with, something he had been fighting with his whole life. This wasn't a, you know, all of the sudden. This was a, it's coming, just don't know when kind of thing. So the first time his dad got hospitalized, mind you, me and him were living in an apartment. And my ex-husband's ex-girlfriend, who he was dating before me, her name is Jackie. She had gotten into a bit of trouble before his dad got hospitalized, okay? This is important, I promise. So she got into a bit of trouble. She had pot in her car and crossed Georgia state lines and got stopped by a state trooper and agreed to let him search her car, and he found the weed because she's an idiot, because she was speeding. So his dad was a very nice man, decided to bail her out. So she got on probation, and she had to go do community service in Georgia every fucking weekend, which is about 2.5 hour drive, right? 2.5 hour drive, and she had to pay like $1,500 a month or something like that. Like, I think the grand total she ended up having to pay was like, I don't know, $6K or $10K, something like that. So his dad, out of the kindness of his heart, paid all of what she had to pay and drove her to Georgia every weekend to do her community service. When that was over, in exchange to pay him back, she agreed to come over to the house that he stayed to help take care of the dogs, because there was 4 of them, to make sure he had groceries, make sure he was good, because me and my husband, again, were living in an apartment about 45 minutes away. We were both working full time, and it was just appreciated that we had someone to look in on him, okay? Mind you, my ex-husband's father was about 10 to 15 years older than my dad. Like, everyone I've ever dated, their parents are old as shit. Their parents are like 10 years younger than my fucking grandparents. So I just wanted to get that classification. Even though the people I date are only like within a couple of years older than me, usually. I once made the mistake of dating someone younger than me. But I say mistake, but honestly, they were all mistakes to the point. But anyway. But I guess you could also say my parents were also just really young when they had me too. So whatever. But anyway. So she was supposed to be going in and checking on him. We get a call. He's in the hospital. And we're like, okay, why is he in the hospital? Turns out, so he was going outside on the deck because they had like a wraparound porch. He's going outside on the deck and he went to pick something up. He had a stroke. He had to crawl himself back into the house to call somebody. And for some reason, he didn't call his son. Well, I say for some reason, but he was the type of man that didn't want to call his son because he didn't want his son to worry unless he was like actually in the hospital. Crazy, right? By the way, his son is adopted, so that probably explains why my ex-husband doesn't have a lot of qualities that his father did. Some of the qualities, yes, but some of the qualities, no. But anyway, and he called one of his scout buddies or whatever, and he went to the hospital. He had had a stroke, and he needed us to come and watch the dogs for the weekend because he wasn't going to be there. When I tell you I entered this house and I immediately got more pissed off than I had been in a while, I'm not joking. For his stupid ass ex-girlfriend Jackie, who was supposed to be fucking taking care of this man, checking in on him daily, getting him fucking groceries, helping him clean the house, helping him take care of the dogs because he paid like 6 to 10K for her stupid ass drug problem, and took her to fucking Georgia, which is a 2.5 hour drive every fucking weekend for like 6 months straight. Okay. We have ads. I can't dismiss those. Anyway, I'm gonna have to pause and let you know I was pissed. I was very pissed. But now we have ads. Alright, so give me 5. I need to open my fucking door anyway. It's fucking hotter than shit in here. I'm like sweating like a motherfucker. Okie dokie, Bean. I hope you have a good day at work. I'm sorry for the ads. There's no snooze button. I tried. The snooze button's gone. I think Twitch just took it away. But I have literally not seen a snooze button all day today. Da 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 da. You guys did it. Okay. So, sorry. So I have to leave our door open, so don't mind. It's just fucking hot. Um, but anyway, so yeah, so basically, like I was telling you guys, like she was supposed to take care of him. We go into the house after not having been there for a month or two. There was no groceries in the fridge. The house looked trashed. Um, the dog food had ran out, and I was pissed. I was so pissed because what the fuck do you mean there's no food in the house for a man that is having difficulty getting around who helped you? I was so pissed. But for some reason, my ex-husband wasn't. He was just like, "Yeah, it is what it is." Okay, so you're fine with seeing your father, who's been living in the house, probably starving, and the dog starving, and your stupid ass ex-girlfriend who owes him a fucking huge ass debt, not helping him. That's cool. Awesome. There's a reason I'm bringing that out too. We're getting there. We're getting there. I have to tell you some of the pieces leading towards this. So his dad comes back home. He supposedly texts Jackie to make sure she checks in on him. Blah 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 blah. She made up some excuse about being busy. I don't know what the fuck. And I tell him, okay, well we need to check in on him more regularly. So we do. She never actually comes back and helps him. By the way, he ends up in the hospital again, and this time it's serious. And this was during COVID. Okay. So he had gone up there to visit his dad quite a few times, and then one day he was like, you need to go up there and visit him. You need to see him because I know you care about my dad." And I said, "Are you sure? Like, I don't want to take any time away from you and your dad, right?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So we get up there. Who's up there? Jackie's up there. Yep, Jackie's fucking up there. And so she goes up with me to see his dad, and when we get up there to his dad, the doctor says, "Oh, did your husband tell you?" I said, "Tell me what?" He was like, "Well, his dad doesn't have much time left. Like, this is probably the last visit." And I said, "Do what?" I said, "No, he didn't tell me that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know that." So I call him and I tell him, I'm like, "Hey, you need to get up here. They said, like, your dad doesn't have a lot of time. I don't know who fucking didn't tell you, but he just told me." And then the doctor goes, "Well, it's COVID policy. We can only have two visitors at a time." I said, "Well, fuck it. Like, he can take my spot. Like, I don't care. Like, he's going to see his dad. Like, that's so fucked up." And mind you, the time while his dad was in the hospital, his dad was in the hospital for about a month before this occurrence. And he kept, he was upset and everything. I told him, I said, "I hope your dad makes it through. Maybe he can come home on oxygen." Because he had, like, it was an issue with his lungs. I said, "Maybe they can put him on oxygen. Like, I don't really know, but hopefully he pulls through like a good person does. Like, you don't tell somebody someone's going to die. You hope that they live." Right? So anyway, that's important for me to say that. And fucking Jackie didn't say anything the whole time. Because who should have stayed up there? His wife or his ex-girlfriend? You know what I mean? But luckily the doctor was like, "You know what? I'll just make an exception since he's dying. Like, all of you can stay up there." So we went in the room, and when I'm faced with any kind of trauma because of a trauma that I went through in my life, I kind of shut down. I don't get emotional at that point. I'm just completely shut down. Everything's methodical. Everything's just handle this, that, and the other. And I'm kind of like there for anybody else who needs the support. And so basically, his Jackie's just sitting there crying. "He's such a good man." And I was like, "Dude, I wish I could just fucking push you out the goddamn window. I hate you." So anyway, his dad passes away. So months later, and mind you, during all this months, I helped him with everything. I helped him with putting stuff into probate. I helped him going to the lawyers. I helped him plan the funeral. I did literally everything I could to take it off his back because that's a lot to put on someone who just lost their dad. You know what I mean? Fast forward months later, we got into an argument. I don't even remember what the fucking argument was about. But I know at one point he was at the bottom of the stairs and he looked me dead in the eye and told me it was my fault that his dad died. Because why did I tell him that I hoped that his dad would live if his dad wasn't going to live? And he screamed this. He did not say this calmly. I'm just saying it calmly because I'm not going to scream. So, yes. That was basically the camel, the straw that broke the camel's back for fucking everything. Because I'm like, what? With everything considered, everything that had been going on in the past year, that is what you throw at me. Lovely. Lovely. No, I wish I was kidding. I wish I was kidding, but I'm so fucking not. It was crazy. But there's a lot of things that led up to it. But yeah, my life is crazy. I also, there's a box that came in, so I'm gonna open this box, but my life has been crazy, and the reason I stay positive is because, can you guys hear me okay? I'm sitting a little bit further back from the mic to open this shit. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Where's my scissors? 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 Hello, scissors? I thought I had scissors. Do I not have scissors? Oh. I guess I don't have scissors. Okay, cool. I don't know. The reason I stay so positive is because, I mean, I'm not always positive. Like, sometimes shit just sucks, you know what I mean? But I don't really have a choice, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta keep living your life. You gotta keep doing the best you can, and sometimes, I don't know. I just have a habit of surrounding surrounding myself with people who act like they care and then they don't, and treat me like garbage and then they don't, and sometimes it gets rough and sometimes it's really hard to tell up from down. I saw a quote on TikTok the other day that kind of rang true with me. And it said, how the fuck are you going to hurt a girl so fucking badly that she breaks into pieces and she doesn't have her parents to go home to? And I was like, fuck! But you know what? That's true. How do you get in a relationship with a girl that doesn't have parents or support system or family that really gives a shit? How are you gonna, like, turn and, like, hurt somebody that fucking badly who can't go home to their mom or can't call their mom or their dad when they need something? That's a whole new level of low, I feel. I don't know. Well, relationships can be great, but I don't know. In my experience, every single time I get in a quote unquote great one, it turns out it's lies. But oh, thank you for the biddies. Also, thank you for the follow earlier too. Thank you so much, and thank you for the biddies. I appreciate that. I know that, but the thing is that I share this with you guys not to like get you guys to feel bad for me because, you know, life is fucking life and it sucks. But to just kind of like show you guys or tell you guys like I understand, and when you're going through it, like I might not know all the right words to say, and I might not be able to help you and do everything I can, and maybe I don't have the right words, but I'm here and I will always try to be around, and I will always at least have some kind words, you know, or some silly fucking like jokes, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like I will. Sorry, I'm like going through this box right now. I will always have like something to try to cheer you up, something to try to make your day better. Thank you for the gift and sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I will do my best. I will do my best. And you know, and I just hope like one day everything just works itself out, and I hope that one day, you know, things make sense. But for those of you that were here yesterday, in summary, that is also why I hate when people say everything happens for a reason, because you can be in a situation where you can literally do everything right, and I did. I literally, like, I'm at the point, like, I vet people. I see what they're about. I try to see who they are 100%. I lay out my baggage of who I am so they know, so they're not surprised. But it doesn't matter, because regardless, it turns around, and every single person that I've ever met in a relationship is not who they say they were. And that sucks, you know? And I just hope that, like, one day somebody is who they say they are 100%. And I don't expect, let me add a caveat to that. I never expect anybody to be perfect. I don't expect someone to just show up, bust through the fucking wall like fucking a superhero, like, I am here, and be like the perfect person, you know, in the whole fucking planet. I will never expect that, because I am not a perfect fucking person. What I do expect is honesty and caring. Sorry, I'm opening shit. But, like, that's what I do expect. And it seems like that in today's world is a lot to expect out of someone. That's how it feels. I don't know. But despite me seeing some of the worst people, I still believe that there's good people out in the world. Burst through the wall. Hello, everybody. My name is Markplay. That's not a bad joke. That's a good joke. What you guys should know about me is I love silly fucking humor. Like, that's how I get through my shit. Is silly fucking stupid ass humor. I tell fucking dead dad jokes like it's going out of fucking style. I swear to Christ. Like, it's fine. I like that kind of humor. You know what I mean? I do. So, like, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry about opening stuff. Keeping my hands busy, mainly. I don't know. But that's also why I was late today. I just had a really fucking... I don't know. I've had not great past few days, and I had a really fucking rough night. It's just like... It's one of those things that... You feel really bad, and you try to reach out to people... that are supposed to give a shit and supposed to care, and they just don't. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm the type of person that if I'm sitting there and I know somebody's upset or somebody's hurting, like, despite whatever I have going on, I have and will multiple times set aside whatever's going on with me, because I know it can wait, to care about the other person, because I can't sit there watching somebody just be in fucking pain and just be like, well, I don't care. Got my own shit, don't care. I don't know. I don't have that kind of, like, nonchalant, don't give a fuckness. That's kind of how I feel about it. The right person says someone perfect. Exactly. Exactly. I don't need somebody perfect. If I had somebody perfect, then that would give me a fucking unreachable standard that would just make me feel awful. I appreciate that. I do. And thank you for the biddies. You know, the thing is, like, I think it takes a lot of courage, but once you realize, like, who you are as a person and what you actually need as a person, you can kind of find strength in that, right? And for me, it's hard because I lost my parents so young. I didn't have, like... I lost my parents / I couldn't see my mom up until she died, too. So I didn't have my parents from before I even entered elementary school. And it's really hard in a lot of ways. Because on one hand, you kind of remember them and you do miss them. But on the other hand, it's like the amount of shit that they just missed out on that you did not have parents for. You didn't have anybody in your corner. Like when I was getting bullied in school, or when I had my first relationship and my first heartbreak, my first failure on a test, or when I got into the gifted and talented program, or when I won a reading award, or when I won a writing award, or when I won an art award. Like, there was nobody. Like, you look in the crowd, there's nobody. And I think that sucks. But, you know, you just have to keep going and make sure that even though you had nobody, like, how I see it is, even though I had nobody, I am determined to be that somebody for someone else, because I would not want anyone to feel that loneliness, that pain, that sadness that I felt. And therein lies the problem, because there's a lot of people in the world that don't think like that. And because they don't think like that, they will absolutely fucking take advantage of that, take advantage of you, and use you for everything you have. And that is what has gotten me into trouble so many fucking times in most of my relationships, simply because I couldn't let someone else go through the pain that I went through, even when I should have told them to go fuck off and go fuck themselves and cry about it. You know? I think that's also why it's hard for me too when I see somebody that can look down on somebody and not give a fuck and not help somebody, and when all they can see is themselves, so all they help is themselves. I find that a hard concept to grasp. Because I'm like, I get it. I've been hurt. I've been through the shitter. I've met some really fucking shitty ass people. I've been abused many times in many different ways. And so I get it. But at the same time, it kind of speaks to who you are as a person if you can see somebody that needs your help, or that you could help, and you choose to just look away like it's not your problem. There's a fine line between protecting your peace and being cruel. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it. I don't know about you guys. I don't know. Maybe you have a different opinion on it. So you can tell me how you feel about it while I'm opening bags. Whether you feel the same, or whether you're like, nah, fuck that bitch. You know what I mean? Oh my god. I got this all tangled. What did I do? I don't know. Okay. There we go. This is why I think sadness needs to matter in life, but this feels different. I do want to take this. And no, you don't. I appreciate the thought, but no, you don't. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant, and it's hard to deal with, and it's not something I would wish on my worst enemy. It's just something I have to deal with. For me, I want to help people, but I'm very shy and I judge myself a lot. See, I get that. I get that. And then sometimes, if you're anything like me, sometimes you want to help people and you just don't have the ability to. And that sucks too, because it's like, I really want to help you, but I don't have the ability to even help myself at the moment. Now I have a bad habit of, I help somebody else before I help myself. And then I end up in situations like, in debt or something for something stupid because I chose to help somebody else, or I chose to make somebody's day good. Like, I'm the type of person that when it comes to like I hate Christmas and I hate my birthday. You can probably imagine the reasons why without me even telling you. But I do. But because I do, and because of the reasons that I do, I also, when I care about somebody, I want to make their birthday amazing. So I listen. I listen to what they like, what they don't like, and maybe it's not always perfect, but and then I get them things that they like. I decorate things that they like. Um, buy them dinner, surprise them. Um, I go like above and beyond, and I get them like so much shit of things that they like. And I think the hardest part for me is it's not that, for me, it's not like I need like 20 million presents or anything. For me, it's like I just need someone who listens. I need somebody who sees me and sees what I like and understands me, even if it's something small. Even if they can't afford anything and they just draw me a picture or write me a letter or something, but it's something that either like I want to hear or that I really like. Like, for example, I really like Skull Panda. If somebody didn't have the money for Skull Panda and they just drew me a picture of Skull Panda and they're like, it's not much, but here it is, I would be so fucking happy, over the moon. Like, I don't need stuff. And I think that's the killer part, is like finding someone who is willing to even do that little bit of effort to make someone feel seen and heard is like crazy. You know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy because it doesn't fucking happen because people are too much about themselves. What are you getting me? What do you got me? Forget about the thank yous. Those are hard to come by. And I can't help it. I still turn around and I still, you know, I don't know. I give people gifts and stuff when I have the money to do so because it makes me happy to, for them to have something that might remind them of me. And when I say that, I mean, I don't get them gifts that I would like. I get them things that I think that they would like, you know. And so, like, for example, I like collecting figures and shit. And let's say that you don't like collecting figures and shit, which is fine. It's valid. But let's say I see a figure or something that just reminds me of you. Like, hey, look at this little, I don't know, dog or something. And I get you that figure because I'm like, hey, you know, maybe it's not something you necessarily like, but I thought of you and like I wanted you to have this little dog figure because I think it's cute and it just reminds me a lot of you and stuff. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I do. On top of getting stuff that people would actually like, I also get just things that make me think of them because I just, you know. But it's the amount of like suckery that where you get the thing where it's like it's not really appreciated or you feel like it's not really appreciated. And it's just like, well, why do I bother them? But, you know, it happens. It is what it is. People are going to be people. I think my folly is trying to, I don't know, what's the word? My folly would be trying to imagine that people are people that they're not. Does that make sense? Like, you try to be like, oh, well, you know, surely, or maybe this time. I think that's where I fall into the hole of like, it's like, maybe this time, maybe this time, maybe that time. And I did that a lot as a kid growing up too. Like, I'd be like, if I draw well enough, if my grades are high enough, if, you know, if I'm smart enough, if I read enough, if I do this enough, then maybe someone will be like, hey, I see you. Hey, I care. Hey, you're important. Hey, we love you. And I think that's the bad habit that's just kind of followed me through life, is being like, if I do enough, if I work hard enough, if I show up enough, if I help enough people, if I'm kind enough, then, you know, it'll like, then I will finally get that situation where people like, you know, care and are happy. And see me. And I think that's the trap that I fall into, because I've come to the realization that 9 times out of 10, at least the people that I've dated in the past are just selfish. And they don't really think about other people over themselves. My IRL friends are too, though. Most of, like, no, every single best friend that I've ever had, apart from like one or two, is either stabbed me in the back or ended up sleeping or making out with or whatever my significant other at the time. So it's kind of fucked. It's I'm not gonna lie, it is fucked, but it is what it is. You just kind of like, you do your best. You do your best and you try hard and you know. So just to tell you guys, like, I get it. I understand. I've seen some bad shit. I've been through some bad shit, but I will always do my best. I will be here if you need to hang out, if you just, you know, want to vibe, whatever. Like, I'm here. I got you, fam. I can't promise I'll be around all the time because I'm busy making a bunch of content for you guys, which I'm trying to do better and trying to do more of, but I can promise that I will always do my best. No matter what. And you guys got this. Whatever it is that you're wanting to go for in life, you have got this. I believe in you. You've got it. And you'll be the best. Ignore my dogs. They also think you will be the best. They're having a moment. It's unfortunately a lot of trial and error and a test of your soul. It is. It absolutely is. But, you know, in the end, I just hope that it's worth it. And I think that's all anybody can hope for. I'm telling you guys, this is my Delulu. Hear me out. This is my Delulu. My Delulu is... Oh, thank you. I will always make sure you guys get your videos and everything out. My Delulu is that I have been through enough shit that I will win the lottery. That is my Delulu. That is my Delulu, and I might die with that Delulu, but it is my Delulu nonetheless. Even if I won the lottery, like I said, I wouldn't know what to do with all that money. I'd probably end up investing, saving, building my little house, and then spending the rest on charity or other people. That's what I think. I mean, that's what I would do. I would just do it. But, and I said this before, I would do it anonymously because I don't want people to fucking know. I wouldn't want or need the recognition. I would just drop bombs on people of, like, nice things. You know what I mean? Because I don't want them to know it's me. I don't need a thank you. I just need a, hey, I made their life better. Hey, I paid their rent this month. Hey, I paid for their groceries. Hey, I, you know, helped them buy a PC or something shit. Not something shit, but something like that shit. Something shit. Wow. I can't even speak. Also, like, things like that, basically. Sounds like someone needs a financial officer. Wait, what? You're gonna break one of your Luna. Wait, what? What does that mean? Not necessarily Delulu. I think it's a little Delulu. Anytime I tell anybody that, I'm like, I feel like I've had enough bad luck, misfortune, and general suckiness in my life that I feel like the universe is going to just give me something really great from all the suckiness. So it's either going to be a great relationship or I'm going to win the lottery. And listen, I if I won the lottery, I could help so many people and I could have my own space and then I could get, my life. I could heal from the shit and I could just, invite good people in my life. Because I would never tell anybody I won the lottery. I would tell them what I do for a full-time job would be a streamer. And that's how I support myself and we would leave it at that. There are worse Delulus than winning the lottery. Heck, at work, my section has a list of special numbers on the wall meant to win the lottery. That's cool. They have not worked out very well. Oh no. The karmic scale must equalize somehow. I want to believe that it will. I think what sucks for me is every time I think, oh shit, the karmic scale, like, karma's coming back to me. I'm actually getting something great in my life. And then it ends up being, like, ash. Just turning to ash in my mouth every time. And I'm just like, okay. Well, it wasn't that one. That one's another baggage to add on the other side. Another trauma scar, if you will. If you do win the lottery, please make Luna action figures. Bro, I would. I would. Or I would at least, like, get somebody to make statues. But not Novel Horizons, because apparently they're shit. I started talking to him wanting to learn more about bikes and cars and asked me why I wanted to learn being more of a gearhead. And I said to him, blame my VTuber. In other words, I'm thank you for inspiring me to get on my ass. Bro, I've seen so many videos recently. I really want to fucking learn to ride a bike. Like, a motorcycle, I should specify. I want to learn to ride a motorcycle. I'm so scared of it though, because like you can easily just get crushed or make a mistake and get fucked up or whatever. But like the idea of being on a motorcycle just sounds like exhilarating to me. And I feel like that would be a lot of fun. You're welcome, Speedy. Every time life goes well, something falls apart. Yeah, it fucking sucks, dude. I don't know. I don't know that I'm entitled to anything. I just, you know. But, I just like my dogs. I just I just think riding a motorcycle would be really, really fun. If I can't be someone's backpack, at least I can drive the vehicle, right? Uh, I'd be so scared though. Absolutely scared. Anyone can dream. That's true. That's true. A bizarro. What would a bizarro version of me? What does that mean? I want to get motorcycle license, but these people drive like these squeeze bends and get into crashes. Eh, I've seen a lot of bad like wrecks and shit and everything, and I'm just like, ah. But then at the same time, my dark humor side of the brain is like, well, if I'm gonna die, might as well fucking die on a motorcycle. You know? I don't know. I was looking as I was fighting. Oh my god! I hope you got it, human. Jesus. Ugh. Hate roaches. I hate most bugs, actually. Butterflies I like. Butterflies, sometimes moths, but they can be a little intrusive and annoying. Ladybugs. Like, basically the harmless ones. I like big fat bumblebees, too, because they're harmless. But I also, at the same time, still don't want them near me because I'm still terrified. I just want to watch them, that's all. Thank you for the follow! Also, like I said, excuse any kind of background noise. My door is open right now because it's really freaking hot and I'm sweating like a motherfucker. Uh, fuck ass wasp. Oh my god. A wasp stung you in your lip? Bro. Thank you for the follow and welcome. That's as fucking off the wall as like my first and only sting, knock on all fucking wood in existence. The first and only sting I ever got was on the bottom of my foot, like in the middle of the bottom of my foot. And how it happened was I went inside, I sat on the couch, I put my foot over the crack in the cushions, and then something hit, like something like stabbed the bottom of my foot. And when I raised my foot up, there was a fucking yellow jacket stuck in the bottom of my foot. Inside my house. It's like, that's fucking crazy. Okie dokie. Thank you for hanging out. As long as you're having fun. Oh no. Fucking wasps and bees. Dude, I was outside the other day and I saw this fucking... all I can say is it was definitely a hornet. It had to have been. This bitch was fucking big as shit. Like, he was at least like 5 inches long and thick as a motherfucker. Like, thicker than my thumb. Like, maybe 2 of my thumbs put together. Or 3. Like... And he was black with yellow stripes, and he looked big as shit, and I just went inside because I was like, nope, not today, motherfucker. Not today, not tomorrow either. You can go fuck right off. I'm good. Everyone should have fun in their lives. That's fair. I guess it's like one of those things, like, the way that I had to go through shit, like, it's gonna sound silly, contradictory, mushy, or like whatever, but I think on a psychological level, I feel like I have to earn people's attention. I have to earn people's affection. I have to earn people's love. I have to earn to be able to have fun, like the ability to have fun, which sounds crazy, or you probably heard it in like sappy TikToks, but I'm not lying. It's absolutely 100% true. And if you take that in consideration, what I do probably makes a lot more sense. And why I do it. Imagine getting showered by a flock of spiders. Bro, Speedy, no! Don't put that thought into the fucking air. Dude, when I lived at my ex-husband's house, when we were still married, I was sitting at my computer and I saw something fall out of the corner of my eye, and it hit my shoulder, and it fell to the fucking floor, and it was this giant ass wolf spider. This giant fucking ass wolf spider. I screamed like a motherfucker and ran the fuck out of that room and made him get it. And of course, his ass puts it in a fucking jar and makes me look at it. And I was like, no! What the fuck? Yeah, I was terrified after that. Now I check all ceilings of every room before I go in there. It was horrendous. Fucking absolutely fucking horrendous. We don't do that. He was like, oh, he's just a little friend. I was like, I hope he fucking eats your face off. Oh yeah, no, I hate spiders. Hate spiders. I had to negotiate with one outside the other night because I was standing outside and I saw something move out of my eye. And I turned, it was this big ass spider. It wasn't as big as a wolf spider. He was like the size of a quarter or something like that. And I saw it move, and it moved towards the front door, which was the only way into the fucking house from where I was. And I was like, please. And I like negotiated with him that I would leave him alone if he would just like come out from the front door and just go the other way. And we kind of like circled each other. And then he ended up running the other way out into the yard. And I was like, okay, thank you. Bye. No. No. Fuck that shit. No. I was scared to kill roaches as a kid, so I would just drown it in bleach until it died. You know, I don't know. I hate roaches, so I can't really say much. polite spider. The spider standoff, bro. I don't know if he was polite or not. I don't know. I guess he wasn't rude. Maybe he was just as scared as I was, because he took off like a motherfucker. I don't even know what kind of spider it was. It was like a, his whole body was like a golden color, like a really light brown slash golden color. I don't know what kind of fucking spider it was. I was not going to try to find something to kill it because I was terrified that if I tried to kill it, it might jump on me or something. Like, I didn't know if it could jump. I didn't know what it could do. And I was too scared. So that's why we did that. Like, high key, that's why I don't kill, like, flying insects, like wasps and stuff, and spiders. Because I'm like, I don't get stung or jump on. And I don't trust any of you fuckers to not do that. If I ever send you a plushy chibi spider, you just know chances are I could be drunk tripping balls preferably. Okay, chibi, like, plush spiders are fine. Plush spiders are cute. That's fine. I just have a problem with the real spider. Probably not the right area to get it, buddy. You should probably ask your parents. The last fucking roach I killed was on my bed as I woke up early in the morning. That roach would have been my alarm clock. Oh, no. My sister had a pet tarantula and I named her Charlotte. Bro, I can't do it. I can't. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. See, that's gonna be my fate, you guys. I swear to God, that's gonna be my fate. I'm going to, there's gonna be a perfect individual that I meet. That's gonna be like mass talk, bike talk, book talk vibes. I'm telling you, it exists somewhere. And they're gonna be perfect, and then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, by the way, I have a pet tarantula and a pet fucking snake, and I'm like, fuck, can't do it. And that's gonna be it. That's gonna be my one opportunity that the universe is gonna give me, and I'm just gonna fumble it because I don't like snakes or spiders, and I cannot live in a house that has pet snakes or spiders because I don't trust that they won't get out of their cage. I won't trust that I won't wake up with one on my face in the morning. No, thank you. Good. I just, yeah, I hate real spiders. Have you seen those videos where they put a roach in a trap and spank it with a little stick? I have not. That sounds crazy. Snakes are the scariest animals to me, bro. Yes. Only need just the 2-step moms. Hey, the more moms, the merrier. I have a pet tarantula and a pet snake. Oh, see, no, I can't. No, no, no. See, I would never ask anybody to give up their pets for me, but just know this ain't gonna work if you got those pets, because I can't do it. I just can't do it. My my cousin Sydney really likes snakes, but not me. Oh, so just mm-mm. No way. I like dogs though. I'm more of a dog person than a cat person. I would still like be around someone that had a cat, but like more of a dog person than a cat person. But I have met some pretty chill cats. So, but they have to win me over. Like as much, I guess that proves that I am a cat person, but I don't but I care for dogs more because as much as a cat, like you would have to win them over, the cat would have to win me over. And also, if it's a female cat, that bitch better be fixed. And I swear to God, because I used to go over to a friend's house back a long time ago, and they had cats, and their cats weren't fixed, and they were both female. So every time they went into heat, they just meow, like fucking loud as shit, early as fuck in the morning, would not shut up, and I could not fucking sleep. We don't do that. Mm-mm. Nope. Not dealing with that. Have you watched more Pars? I have not. I told my friend if her snake comes near me, it's getting blown up. I don't blame you. I feel the same fucking way. Like, no, no, no. That's why you always gotta like evaluate somebody's like home if you ever come over. And I don't mean evaluate it for dirt or whatever, because if you're going over and you're evaluating their house for like dirt or disorganization, you probably shouldn't be there. I mean, you have to evaluate their home to quickly assess what pets they have if they haven't told you. Because if you look around and you don't see any pets, then you can ask, hey, do you have any pets? But if you look around and you see suspiciously empty tanks, that would be the moment that I would ask if they have a spider or a snake. Because if they do, and the bitch is fucking empty, you should probably leave. Thank you for the donut. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I would just be like, ooh, no. Oh, no. No, no. No, thank you. It's fucking crazy. Alright. But fuck this shit, I'm out. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just be like, no, I'm gone. I'm absolutely gone. Okay, everybody. I need to put some stuff away. I've got some recording to do for you guys. I've got some ASMR I still need to do for the rest of this week and everything, but I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central. If you want to make sure, or if I am not there on time, if you're part of the Discord, I do make announcements if I'm going to be late or when I'm going live and stuff like that. So that will be there. But I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. We'll be chilling, vibing. Maybe we'll play a game. Maybe we'll yap. Maybe we'll react to some Hell's Kitchen. Who fucking knows? But we're gonna do something fun. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll do it all the time. The first time I saw a snake in person was in 4th grade when they were feeding it to a mouse, or feeding a, yeah, fuck, I said that backwards. You know what I'm saying. When I saw a motherfucker strike fast as fuck, that's all I needed to see. Yeah, right? Yep, no, that's it. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you stay cool, hydrated. Make sure you eat lots of good food. Make sure you get lots of good rest. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be getting some videos out for everybody today. I've got some recording I've got to do. And if you ever want suggestions for any of my videos or streams or anything, I do have a channel for that in my Discord just to help me keep track of everything. But if Discord's not your vibe, that's absolutely fine. All right, everybody, have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.